Hey everybody, it's Zach, aka Zach's Reviews, and we are back again with another movie review. I actually watched the Happiest season after Thanksgiving. It's 2 a.m. right now. Um, I really enjoyed this movie. I remember the funny thing about this movie is they actually filmed a lot of this in Pittsburgh, which I remember when I was working at the theater. I worked at a theater that was in a mall, and they actually filmed a lot of it in that mall, and just I'm really happy they chose our city. Pittsburgh is a great place to film movies. I mean, they filmed The Dark Knight Rises here, so I mean, I'm just happy they're utilizing Pittsburgh more. Pittsburgh's a beautiful, great place, and I'm just happy they did that. I was happy to see. I was happy to see places I tried to figure out where they filmed in the movie. And I just thought that was cool. But this was a great movie. It stars Kristen Stewart, Alison Brie, and Mackenzie Davis, and a whole bunch of other people. And one of the other people is actually and the guy that was in this that plays the father in this movie is actually Stein from The Flash, and I love his character. He's at one part of Firestorm, and Firestorm's my favorite character. So in The Flash and Legends of Tomorrow, I love that character. But this movie was so beautiful. It was a story about two gay women, and they go on to her partner's Christmas outing at her parents' house, and she's not out yet, and her Kristen Stewart is playing her girlfriend, and they pretty much go on this journey where Kristen Stewart's girlfriend didn't tell her family that she's gay yet, and she's telling Kristen Stewart's character to just, say that you're not gay, and say pretend you're my roommate, and just nothing about it. I just don't want it to get out yet that I'm gay. So it's a beautiful story of seeing the journey of the struggle it is in today's society, or in general, that people can't they don't feel safe enough to come out as who they are, and that's really messed up. It's really messed up. We live in a society where people can't just be who they are, and without being judged and stuff like that. And there's history of people not being able to accept people for who they are, and it's just really messed up. I wish we could live where people weren't judged for who they are, and for who they want to be, and it's really messed up. So I love the story of the embracement, and the journey of being able to be who you are. I just love this movie. It was a beautiful movie. The chemistry between Kristen Stewart and Mackenzie Davis was awesome. And Alison Brie, I love her from Community so much. I'm a big fan of hers. I also love her in Get Hard with Kevin Hart and Will Ferrell. I love that movie. And Kristen Stewart, I love. I'm gonna admit it. I like the Twilight movies. I like them. You know what I mean? At the time, my sister was a big Twilight fan, and I went to the movies with her, and of course, I didn't like the vampires. I liked the werewolves. I actually remember when I was younger, when I was a kid, I wanted the Jacob tattoo. Jacob was my favorite, and I wanted his tattoo. And New Moon was specifically my favorite. And I'm gonna admit that those movies were cool. I like that stuff. That was pretty good. I like movies like that. I love the fantasy element, and yeah. But I just really enjoyed it. It was a great Christmas time. It was a great, you went through different emotions. You went through the journey of, you know, and people go through this where they're afraid to come out to their families because they think that they might not accept them for who they are, and I just can't believe that. You know, I just can't believe we live in that time where just, why can't people be accepted for who they are? I don't get it. I don't understand how messed up somebody has to be to not get that that's who someone is. And you can't love that about somebody. I don't get that. I just hope down the line people can get through their heads that, you know, there's nothing wrong with being black. There's nothing wrong with being gay. You know, there's nothing wrong with being lesbian. Like, there's nothing wrong with any of that. And even all the other stuff I didn't name. You're allowed to be who you are. And I'm really happy they're bringing movies like this where, yeah, it's a story that, you know, that people will see, that if they do have a problem with this, they'll be like, oh, why do I have a problem with this? You know what I mean? So I thought it was a great movie. I had a lot of fun time, and you know, and actually Kristen Stewart's has a friend in this movie that is from Schitt's Creek. I haven't really watched the show, but I think he's a funny person, so, you know, shout out to him. I'm gonna put his he's from Schitt's Creek. He's the son in Schitt's Creek. So go check that out, that show. It looks like a really good show. It looks very funny. They got, I think, an Emmy or an Oscar. Correct me if I'm wrong, but they got something at, I think this year, or it was last year. This year's been crazy. I can't, you know, gather myself, but he was very funny in this. And I'm just, you know, I had a great time. So go check this movie out. It's called The Happiest Season. A great movie. A great story on someone being able to being able to just totally embrace who they are and don't care who thinks about. That's why, and doesn't care about what other people think, and they know love is stronger than with the person that they were meant to be with, than people. Then they just don't care about what those other people think, and I'm really happy that they brought a movie out that, you know, is really great about this topic. So yeah, go check it out. It's on Hulu right now. It was actually going to be in the theaters, but, you know, with everything that's going on, I'm happy people are now realizing that we can't wait for the movies to possibly become a thing next year. Like, you know, people going back to the movies. I think VOD and, you know, straight to DVD things are the future of cinema. It sucks, but I'm happy I at least lived in the time of Endgame and my MCU. I'm happy I got to, you know, experience that with the fans and stuff like that, you know. I'm happy I got that. I get to tell my kids, if, you know, the theaters do close down the line when I have kids, that, you know, I lived in a time where, you know, we did this at the theaters, and the theaters were a thing. You know what I mean? I didn't think that this would happen. Like, I didn't think theaters weren't going to be, you know, relevant until, like, later down the line. But, you know, it's sad, but by next year, I think theaters won't be a thing anymore. And, you know, that's hard, especially for me, because I pretty much lived my entire life in a theater. My sister took me, my parents took me to my first movie, and it was the Incredibles movie. But my sister pretty much got me into cinema. Like, I wouldn't be who I am today, like, all this stuff around my room and my personality, without my sister taking me to all these things. Like, that built who I became as a person. So, go check this movie out. I give it a 10 out of 10. I had a great time. What a good way to end Thanksgiving, even though it isn't Thanksgiving anymore, but I watched it, I think I watched it at 12. Technically, I still count it as still Thanksgiving, even though it isn't. But great time again. I give this a 10 out of 10. Please go watch this. It's on Hulu. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, put on those notifications. Don't forget to leave a comment. And yeah, just let me know what you think about this movie. Again, I thought it was a great movie. We need movies like this that, you know, talk about, you know, this issue with people not being accepted for who they are. So that was my review on The Happiest Season. I hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving, and I'll see you next time. Peace.